Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we talk Week 5 sits and starts, among other things. On the Back Row Fantasy Show, starting now.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts Jeremy Barker and Aaron Arms.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. It's Bark, and to my left I've got Neil.
Good evening.
And I've got Hux to my right.
What's up?
What's up? No Arms again tonight. He is driving back from Florida.
Bastard.
He kind of sucks a little bit. He wanted to do a 6 a.m. episode, and that's just not happening. So, we've got Neil and Hux, mainstays anyways. Who needs Arms? I do kind of miss him, to be honest. Just a little bit.
Somebody to rag on.
Just a little bit. I miss him just a tiny bit. So, Arms, if you're out there, just know we're thinking of you. Thinking of you.
I mean, I kind of miss his voice. Can we hear it?
Thinking of you. I can't shake it. Go ahead.
I must be the wrong one.
Oh,
There he is.
Arms, where is he?
There he
I
is.
heard him. It's like a spirit in the studio.
He says that a lot too.
Well, he doesn't admit to it a lot. But. Anyways, welcome. We've got a lot to talk about. Week 5. Let's talk about the game last night first.
Tyler Lockett,
I don't want to talk about Tyler Lockett.
Catch of the year so far.
catch of the year.
It was
that
a
was
pretty catch.
amazing.
And I needed
It was
that
a pretty
bad.
catch. And apparently the probability of that catch was like very low.
Yes.
That's like something better than Chad Johnson could have done in his heyday. Because Chad was always really great about the sideline catches.
It was pretty impressive. And I hate to admit it because he's one of the guys I hate on the most
He's
every
been really good.
single week. And he still didn't put up a monster night. He had a monster catch.
Hey, his
Wasn't like he-
points were enough for me.
wasn't like he went, 7 for 100 yards in the touchdown. He went, 4 for 50 in a touchdown?
It's 4 and
change.
change, yeah.
That's good.
Because
Nothing wrong with
Disley
that.
still finished ahead of him with 4 catches.
Well, it's because Disley's the man.
He's looked really good.
Well, that's a problem for me because every week I've got the Disley or Mark Andrews argument in my head. Like, which guy am I going to roll with? Am I
Right now,
going
it
to
looks
go
like
Disley?
Disley.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I
Mark Andrews plays good every week too. Like, I started Disley over him last week, but he only beat Mark Andrews by 3 or 4 points.
That's just
It's
a
just
good problem to have.
It is, but it also can be very tough to navigate on a weekly basis. So I want my guys that I want to start and without even having to think and not, do I go with Marquez Valdez-Scantling
Well, then
this
just
week?
trade him for somebody's shit. And then,
In our league, you can't.
I need a tight end pretty bad. I'm starting, trash.
Everybody's afraid to trade. Actually, we're going to talk some etiquette too. Let's talk about this game real quick, and then we'll talk about some league trade etiquette. So the Seahawks are apparently for real. You beat a high-scoring Rams offense. Chris Carson, I cracked on him last night for averaging 2.5 a carry.
Yeah, that's what you get.
And then the next thing I know, he's averaging 5.5 a carry. Like, Seahawks are pretty good. They've got a good team.
I've tooted the Carson's horn all year long and off season long. And he's the mainstay there.
so is it 2 games in a row now without a fumble? So maybe he's got that under control now.
Yeah, maybe he's got it figured out.
He's got it locked up. I'm tired of all the penny truthers out there. That ship sailed. I understand he might not be seeing that many snaps right now because he's still coming off of injury, but it's over.
He's
I
still.
mean, he's a good backup to have.
Oh,
I mean,
he is,
and
but as
I
far as like
think-
the carry share, it's not going to be there.
I think on most games, I think it won't be as spread out as it was last night. But yeah, I mean, it's Carson's job to lose, and he's got to probably have multiple bad games to be yanked out of there.
I love watching him run too. He runs so hard, not like Marshawn Lynch hard, but I love watching him.
Yeah. They're good. I hate to even admit it because I'm not a Carson guy. I'm not a Lockett guy. I just feel like they're both upper mid-tier guys that people pay top-tier prices for. So,
I got Lockett for AJ Green. That worked out pretty well.
yeah, it did. Worked out really well. But, yeah, the Seahawks, they're for real. They won by a whole point over the supposedly high-flying offense of the Rams. Gurley's getting better. Gurley's getting more touches, kind of integrating back in Do you think he's okay long term? Like for the season, I guess, not beyond, but is he going to be okay, Hux?
Yeah, I think he's okay. He was on the field from damn near the whole game for them last night. And, I mean, Malcolm Brown had 1 carry.
Yeah. He had that big 2-touchdown game, and after that, nothing.
Well, I tweeted out earlier today that in the Rams' 3 wins, they rushed the ball 86 times. In their 2 losses, they only rushed it 29 times.
There you go.
They need to run the ball.
You have to be balanced. You have to have a balanced attack.
And Goff threw the ball 117 attempts last 2 weeks, and they've lost both games.
Yeah. And Arms, meanwhile,
And 105
says,
in 3 games. So
Arms, meanwhile, says that the Rams don't need Todd Gurley and can do it all on the pass.
I must be the wrong one.
You're correct, Arms. You are. Absolutely.
To be fair, the whole game was Clay Matthews' fault. You know what I mean? We can always look at that.
yeah, I mean, their receivers obviously are. I mean, Cooper Kupp is playing
I
out
love
of
that,
his mind.
yeah.
He's playing awesome, but
Yeah. I got a Lambert, poor, sad Lambert. Very upset that he traded me, which was the deal I was worried about. I gave up Stephon Diggs, D.D. Westbrook, and I got back Cooper Kupp, Michael Gallup, and Preston Williams. And it's looking really good right now
And now,
for me.
and now he doesn't even have Diggs.
Now he doesn't even have Diggs. So he's like, can I get Kupp back? I'm like, no.
yeah, I thought he was stupid when he did the trade. He didn't need to do that trade.
No, he didn't.
We get bored.
I get it.
Lambert gets bored. I used to get bored.
Lambert's got a legit shot in that league this year.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if
he still does.
think he still does.
I mean,
He's got a great defense.
well, I mean, obviously it hurts the production he's getting out of Juju right now.
That'll come.
It should.
I can't wait.
Rudolph he'll get better.
Can't wait to get in that in my Bark book right here.
We are all having that problem. Like I'm having a problem with Ridley and all that. So we're all having this production problems.
Yeah, Ridley. I got things to say about Ridley too. But let's dive into some trade etiquette because I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter posting about trade etiquette. Like, so when you get a trade proposed to you and it's just straight garbage, what do you do? Hux, what do you do?
Honestly, it doesn't even bother me. I hit reject and move on.
No counter, no
I mean, if it's straight garbage, I mean,
message with it.
I rarely put a message. If it's straight garbage and I just think it's like, I don't know. Like I guess there are offers that are just kind of insulting.
Yeah, some are
Yeah.
like slaps in the face.
And
Well, look,
every now and then I'll send one back that's just as bad, just for
Yeah.
the hell of it.
That's always too tempting.
Like, okay, well, this is what I thought of this trade.
You jackass. You
But
jackass.
a lot of the times I just hit reject and move on. I don't send them a message like, "Oh, you're a dumbass. Why'd you send this?" Blah blah.
No, I don't either. Sometimes I'll send one that'll just be like, not close. Like you're
just
not
to
close.
place a feeler out there.
Yeah,
Like,
to place
I'm interested
feeler.
in this guy. Yeah.
But a lot of the times I sit there with my jaw dropped because I'm like, listen, this, I hate when I say listen, obviously people are listening. But when someone sends you that really terrible trade for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th time in a row,
Yeah.
like can't you feel out what a team owner is going to do? Like if I know when I send a trade to you or Neil, I have a pretty good idea if you're going to accept or reject.
You at least know what we need. You actually, that's the main thing that I'd always harp on. Is like you can look at somebody's team and say, "Hey, this guy has no receivers. He needs a wide receiver," and yet they're trying to send you like 4 waiver wire running backs or something like that. It's like,
Yeah.
that's how the team need.
Exactly. And not just that, like it's God, I wish maybe I should pull up one of the last ones I got, but there's just some that it's like who in their right mind is going to do that? And then next part, what do you do? Do you do the same thing as Hux when you get a really bad deal? Do you just basically reject it and move on?
Most of there's certain teams in our league of record that they send off like this random trades to me that are awful. I just go and reject them. But if I'm trying to compose a deal with somebody, I usually just use Messenger or something like that to get the ball rolling that way. That's a better way of doing it, in my opinion. Instead of throwing out insulting offers.
Yeah. Like, let me see. I know I had one. Where's it at?
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
There's a lot of bad ones on there.
There is.
I
There's
wish
so
it-
many to go through.
I wish we had Denny's access to see the ones that that are just offered and rejected.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's one. Kalen Balaj, Anthony Miller, who's just tearing it up right now. Not. Albert Wilson, who can't sniff the field. And Devondre Campbell. Best part of the whole deal, Devondre Campbell. And a second and a third. So basically, single-digit points per game, single-digit points per game, no points per game, and a good linebacker and a couple picks for Miles Sanders, Cooper Kupp, and Hassan Reddick, who's tearing the world up right now. What do you expect me to do with that offer? What am I supposed to do? Oh, Kalen Balaj on the Dolphins, the high-flying offense of the Dolphins? No. No. Get that out of here. Get it out of here. I can't. Just no.
It's a waste of time because I get excited when I see a trade proposal.
Me too. I just got one a few minutes ago and I got
yes.
excited. Like, woohoo, trade.
You said Kalen Balaj. I had to go make sure it wasn't from me. But this is a different league you're talking
No.
about.
It's
I sent out an offer yesterday.
That's pretty bad.
offering Kalen Balaj, but it wasn't that bad. He rejected it, but
yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll give a little something for a guy like Kalen Balaj, but it's not going to be a productive player right now. It'd be like Malcolm Brown. Yeah, I'll give you Malcolm Brown. You want to bank on Todd Gurley going down? You can have Malcolm Brown. I'll take Kalen Balaj. Something along those lines. But also, when you do, okay, here, I'll lead it up with this. When you see a deal go down in your league and you're like, I would have given so much more than that if I just knew.
I see it all the time. If this guy was available,
Yeah, if I just knew that he was on the block, or if I just knew that he was available. So, good friend of the show, Matt Bruning, in my number 2 league of record, New Blood, he made a trade the other day, like Royce Freeman and Philip Lindsay. He dealt them for like Jacoby Brissett and a couple good pieces. It wasn't a terrible trade, but I was like, man, like if I'd have known that those Denver running backs were available, I could use some running back depth and a possible starter in Philip Lindsay, and I would have gave so much more. So I messaged him. I was like, dude, you have got to advertise when players like that, like you're trying to move. Now, he had a good rebuttal. So normally I get really mad at those kind of deals, but he had a really good rebuttal to me. And he's like, so-and-so wanted those Denver running backs from me and made a starting offer, and we countered back and forth until that came. I was like, okay. That's fine. That happens. I do that. I end up trading a guy that I didn't throw on the block, so okay, I get that.
Yeah, I get that a lot between me and Lambert, especially.
I'm just being an asshole, basically. So trade etiquette's a big thing. Like it can make or break some leagues. Like right now, our league of record has a few guys that toss out straight garbage, and sometimes it's frustrating. It'll make me stay off the league for 2 or 3 days because I'm like, I can't even look at this league because I don't want Kalen Balaj for Cooper Kupp. I'm done with this league for a couple days. So that's very frustrating. Trading ain't easy.
No,
Trading ain't
it's
easy.
not.
that's why it's always the same partners. It seems. We just move.
Believe it or not, me and Arms just did a trade in another league, not the league of record, but a different league. He just accepted.
Did it involve Raider or High State players?
No, it involved. I needed a quarterback bad in this league. All I have is Jacoby Brissett. He has a bye next week. I have nobody else.
Right.
I traded, which this seems. I mean, I don't know. I traded Rashad Penny, Hawkinson.
I know that deal.
It would just happen
He asked me about
10
that
minutes
deal.
ago.
Yeah, and you got
And
Russell
a round
Wilson.
2 for Russell Wilson. So
I know all.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good for me. It upgraded me at quarterback,
I like it.
and I had the depth to get rid of those players. So
Yeah, and Arms didn't. So that was
Yeah.
a deal that worked out both ways because he's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "I would probably do that if you need
probably the
depth."
reason why he took it, because
Yeah.
Arms is very difficult to trade with.
He is, but I told him the magic words on that one were, what does your depth situation look like at skill positions? He's like, not good, and I'm like, okay, well, I would do it then because a good quarterback is easier to acquire than potential good running backs and wide receivers. So I need to look at this league sometime. I'm not in it. I'd love to see it, but yeah, I thought it was a good deal both ways. Those are the kind of trades that are beautiful. Deals that are good both ways. So that's what I try to do when I offer a trade to anybody is find something that helps them and helps me. I don't try to rip people off. Like, I'll throw a bad offer every once in a while, and somebody will be like, that was garbage. And I'll be like, was it? And I'll look, and I'll be like,
it's pretty bad. Yeah.
That wasn't the best. That's my bad. That's on me. So, week 5. Let's start talking about it. I'm pretty excited.
Week 5. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's almost over, boys.
That's how.
We're almost a third of the way through the season.
That's how it works every single time. This is how it goes. This is what happens. We get excited for football, and then, when it feels like we've won a couple fantasy games, we're at the midway point of the season, and it's sad. It's almost too stressful because fantasy basketball is not worth a damn. DraftKings basketball.
Yeah, I love fantasy basketball, yes, but I don't get as angry.
Yeah. Hey, we got, all right. So we're going to dive into some listener questions. First, I'm bouncing all over the place just because we're going live on the stream. Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. If you want to watch it live, it's there. So Quinn Sullivan, Kerryon Johnson, on a bye. Who do I pick? Peyton Barber, Duke Johnson, or Darrell Williams? I personally like
Duke Johnson.
Darrell Williams.
Damian Williams is supposed to be back. I'm going Duke.
Okay, so hopefully you're still watching. I've got Darrell Williams. I thought he played really well last week.
He did.
Hux has Duke Johnson, who would be my second pick, because if you look at the yards per carry average, Duke Johnson is the best running back on that team, yards per carry. That's exciting to me a little bit because I don't think Carlos Hyde's one nicky knack injury away from Duke Johnson, getting more carries. Whether they'll keep him in that position or not, I don't know. Who you got, Neil?
I also have Duke, but I've been a fan of his for a minute now, but he's, of course, underachieved for us. I seem like he's not even getting enough usage, which really pisses me off.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean, he looked pretty good last week, and I think
better.
They got that matchup with Atlanta this week is the highest over/under, and they're going to put up points. I think he'll be used this week.
I hold on everything.
Cool. Now, if you are watching on Facebook, just so you know, if you have any listener questions, comments, anything like that, watching the stream on YouTube or Twitch will get you into the chat room. We don't really have access. We have access to the Facebook, but it makes you watch the video. I don't want to watch myself. So the second question from Carson, one of Neil's favorite names, Carson Roulette. Roulette's one of my favorite games ever. Love Vegas. Who do I start? Pick 3. Pick 3 of these guys. Godwin, Thielen, Philip Dorsett, Cortland Sutton, Marquise Brown. I'm going Godwin.
I want that problem.
Godwin, Thielen.
Dorsett's probably a hot one, too.
Brown? I don't know. Who was the other?
Dorsett, Sutton, and Hollywood Brown.
Sutton's a good one, too.
Sutton's mine. Sutton and Godwin are guys that I don't sit, if at all possible.
I have Godwin, Sutton, and Thielen, because I think Thielen, after the debacle over last weekend, will get fed the ball.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. So it's Godwin, Thielen, Sutton for me.
It's a good problem
Diggs
to have.
is Diggs in or out? Diggs is, I think he's
They
probable.
said he's going to play.
Yeah, he's going to play.
Probably, most likely.
My only worry is that Diggs could have the bigger game, but Dorsett's hit and miss, and Hollywood Brown's hit and miss right now. So it's Godwin, Thielen, and Sutton for me. Stick with your names.
Because Hollywood's only really had the one big game.
And he's got Allen Robinson. He said, I'm passing on Allen Robinson too. Chase Daniel looked good, but I don't know if Chase Daniel is going to make Allen Robinson much better. So Godwin, Thielen, Sutton from all three of us. Nice. We can agree on something. Arms, who would you have?
I agreed on
I'll
two of
have
those three.
Dorsett, Hollywood Brown, and Allen Robinson.
I must be the wrong one.
That's correct, Arms. You are the wrong one.
Arms is off tonight.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's good.
Yeah. Okay, let's until we get any more listener questions, let's go ahead and dig into some starts and sits because I'm excited to talk about them. Arms, you ready to talk about them? Yeah, week 4 starts and sits.
I must be the wrong one.
That's correct. You are wrong.
You're week 5, Arms.
It's week
Week
5.
five.
Arms. Week 5, buddy. Chill out. Okay, so go ahead, Hux. Lead us off. Who's the first guy that you picked out as a start this week? Like you're going through game tape.
I mean,
going through your notes, getting ramped up.
60 hours of game tape.
Yeah, you're getting amped up to give that big intro on the Back Row Show. Like, hey guys, how's it going? Who is the guy that got you that?
I mean,
amped
you're
up?
not sitting this guy anyways, but I love Deshaun Watson this week. Like I already mentioned, highest over under with 49, and just against Atlanta, they're a mess on defense.
I feel like it's an over also.
Yeah, I mean, I like both sides of that game. Matt Ryan also, but I mean, if you not, I don't know. I guess if you're not going to sit Watson, obviously.
Well, no.
No.
But he's my favorite quarterback this week, so
Watson is?
yeah.
Okay.
I think he was last week too, and he burned me.
I'm going to stick with the theme, but I'll wait for Neil. Neil, who do you have? Maybe quarterback. Maybe we keep the QBs running.
Yeah, we'll go around the QBs. I'm going on the fact that, like, the matchup, obviously, but I'm going with Andy Dalton. Yeah, he sounds like trash, but the Cardinals are also trash.
Cardinals are straight garbage on defense.
Yeah, they're 30th in fantasy points allowed to QBs. Mm-hmm. And he's a really good sleeper for if you're really desperate, maybe during the bye week currently, or injuries like I currently am susceptible to. And he's like 5,700 on DraftKings. Yeah. I'm not sure what the ownage is on him there.
He's going to be higher owned.
Yeah, I figured he would be with that price.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great start this week.
Yeah, it is. The over-under is 47 on that game, which is top 2 or 3 on the slate. So, yeah, they're expecting the Bengals to put up some points this week.
I think both of them are going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the over is going to hit on that game, I believe, also. But, yeah, Dalton's a good play this week. Like, if you have Stafford on bye, if you have those two.
Like me, like poor Josh Allen is hurt, might not
play.
play.
Yeah, I don't hate that. But I'm glad at the same time no one took my pick. So thanks, Jackie. My girl Jackie said I don't like football, but I'm here to support the dummy in the red shirt. Speaking of which, get ballsy is what my shirt says. I don't really care for the fact that it says get ballsy, but Ball Blast podcast. We met those girls in Canton, Ohio for the Midwest Expo. So showing support. I got Carson Wentz this week as my QB start of the week. The Titans have not the Titans.
Jets.
The Jets have a decent defense, but they're 25th against the pass. So Carson Wentz, Alshon looked good coming back. Miles Sanders is starting to kind of hit a stride, not like a big game every week stride, but he's starting to play well. I just think that Carson Wentz takes advantage of a really bad Jet situation. Sam Darnold's out, so they're rolling with Luke Falk. Is that who it is?
Yeah. Rolling
with Luke Falk again. So there's going to be a lot of 3-and-outs for the Jets. Carson Wentz is going to have a lot of time on the field that he may necessarily not have a great game QB rating-wise, but he's going to have a ton of opportunity to get to 300 yards and a couple touchdowns. I think it's a lock that he throws for a lot of yards and at least a couple scores this week. So Wentz is my safe pick of the week right now for quarterback.
But this is the sheer number of snaps we're going to see due to the 3-and-outs and such.
Yeah. Now, they don't have a plethora of good weapons at wide receiver right now. Deshaun Jackson's still out.
Come on, Matt Collins. I need more Matt Collins action.
I like Matt Collins, but I just don't.
Maybe this is J. Jaw's week.
I hope, but
I don't know if J. Jaw's week.
I need Mac to do good this week. Let's go, Mac.
You have to start him in the league?
Yeah, and Brill because of injuries.
I've been there.
I've had Hilton and Brown, so Brown screwed me, then Hilton's hurt.
Our boy Bart Wiseman. Radio sure ain't what it used to be. No, it's not. Anybody can do it now. So, Hux, moving on. Let me ask a question before you give a pick. This week, since it's a back and forth every single week, Mike Evans or Chris Godwin this week, or both?
I mean, I like both, and I would lean Chris Godwin. Marshawn Lattimore is going to most likely cover Evans, so Godwin's got the better matchup.
Yeah, I'd fire both up.
I would lean. Yeah, I'll fire both of them up, but I'd lean Godwin.
I would love to own both of them in every league.
Yeah.
I would fire them both up every single week with no fear. Like everybody gets scared of owning two wide receivers on the same team. I'm not that guy. If it's a team that throws enough and has enough volume in the passing game, give them both to me.
I'd be scared of the Falcons right now unless he has Sanu as one of those two.
Sanu's playing well.
Oh yeah, he is.
You guys are bringing up so much that I have written down to get to. So, but Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, definitely both for me.
Because Winston's throwing up 300-plus yards. So,
and they're going to have to throw the ball again this week. They're not running on the Saints. It's in New Orleans. They're going to have to pass to keep up.
Yeah.
Even with Bridgewater, I think Tampa Bay's defense is crap. So it's going to be another one of them high-scoring games. and Winston's going to have to throw 40-plus times to keep him in it.
Agreed. Who's your next start?
Running back, I'm going to go with Aaron Jones with Jamal Williams out. And, I mean, as good as he's been this year, I mean, he's up there in the top of touchdowns. But I think he's going to be a big part of the Packers offense to hang with Dallas this week.
Considering the wide receiver injury.
Yeah, and Devontae Adams out also.
Yeah.
It's going to be Jones and Graham probably.
Jones, Graham, Scantling,
Jones and Graham. How you even
Geronimo Allison.
You sniped me. Marquez Valdez-Scantling's a must start this week.
I think so
I mean, if
too.
you have him, obviously.
Must.
You'd have to be
start.
stacked not to start him.
Yeah, and I almost am. Like I had him. I was really considering against Arizona, firing up Tyler Boyd and Alden Tate because Alden Tate is now the number 2 till AJ Green gets back. John Ross is out for at
8 weeks minimum.
8 weeks minimum.
There's also reports today that he might actually be. I think there's reports he got put on the IR.
He is. He's on the IR.
Yeah, he's on IR.
I don't know if it was the
8-week one.
Right.
designation to return. Carson Roulette asked another quick question. He said, Wentz or Ryan? Obviously, I was going Wentz. Do either of you go Ryan?
I prefer Matt Ryan, but
I'm a Wentz.
That's like saying you prefer natural light over a
Keystone.
good quality beer.
Oh, no.
I
that
prefer
the-
great value over the actual Oreos.
it's cheaper.
Well,
Matt Ryan's got a better matchup.
You ever heard the term?
I mean, not a better
get what you
matchup.
pay
I
for?
think Matt Ryan's going to have to throw the ball more. I think the Eagles could get up and run the ball the whole game, but Matt Ryan's going to have to throw the ball for them to hang with Houston.
To get up, they're going to have to
It
score.
could go through, or it could be another 3-touchdown Jordan Howard week.
Yeah, but Jordan Howard scores mostly through the air these days.
Bada bing.
Bada boom. All right, Neil, give me another start.
I'm going the low-hanging fruit route and picking Joe Mixon. I think he's going to have a very stellar performance against the Cardinals.
I am not sure if I can buy him right now.
This is the week to buy him. He's going
is.
He's going to see 20, 25 touches in this game easily.
It is.
He should, yeah.
If Bengals can't win this game, it's just over. I mean, it's pretty much over anyway, but I think Mixon's a safe bet this week.
I want to believe that he's a safe bet. I'm having a hard time buying it.
That-
That offensive line.
yeah, that offensive
cannot
line's
open up-
garbage.
They cannot open up running lanes.
It may be the worst in the league.
It's right
Yeah,
up there.
and they supposedly upgraded. Like they supposedly
Yeah.
got upgrades all off season, and I'm not seeing the results of those upgrades. So Mixon, I'm all about selling him right now. I'm all about selling Joe Mixon.
If I had him, I would have sold him, yes.
I mean, you could sell him, but are you going to get his worth? I mean, he's going to eventually bounce back. He's a good running back.
He is a good running back. I just
think selling now would be too low.
Kenyon Drake's a good running back too, but it's that line
It's different.
not that much.
The team has one good player, and it's on the defensive side.
Who, Miami?
Yeah.
Taco Charlton?
Yeah.
That they picked up off waivers? Oh, man. Okay, so, all right, who's next on the...
You.
Okay, thank you. Golden Tate. I think if you were savvy enough to draft him in redraft leagues, because you could get him super late, everybody's afraid of that 4-game suspension. Like, as long as you draft some depth, that 4-game suspension is not going to hurt you that much. And then when he comes back, it's going to be a boost for your team. I have him in every single redraft league I'm in, which unfortunately is way too many. So Golden Tate, to me, I think he's going to step right in. Daniel Jones is going to find him often. I think he catches 6 to 7 balls, 80 yards, and I think that's a good return for Golden Tate. I mean, that's a cool 13, 14 points.
I expect that range easily out of him.
Yeah, I don't expect like anything massive
Like
and
6
crazy.
and 6 and something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go over 100 and score 2 touchdowns, but he's going to be a fine wide receiver 3 this week.
Yeah, I like Golden Tate this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with the Tates. I'm going to go with Auden Tate. I think you can fire him up anywhere, season long, DraftKings. He's only 3,500 on DraftKings. He's almost I hate to say he's a must play, but he almost is just to plug him in and just try to, because he's going to be popular.
If you say his ownership has to be high.
Yeah, I looked at the projections earlier, and right now he's projected around like 28%, which is the highest. He's projected the highest wide receiver this week. But, I mean, he's got 16 targets last 2 weeks. No John Ross this week. Playing the Cardinals. I mean,
I love him.
I would start him over some guys that have tougher matchups. Like, is Gallup playing this week for Cowboys?
He is.
I would start him over Gallup against. Packers have an outstanding secondary.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
Gallup looked like the best wide
Yeah, but the
receiver on the
Packers
Cowboys
secondary is
for
one of
them.
the best in the league.
It is, but
So I'm just saying, or if
I
you
bet-
have like
I
a
bet they-
Marvin Jones on a bye, you can plug him in there.
I bet the Packers haven't game planned for Gallup though.
Why wouldn't they?
It was just. I mean, he's probably going to play.
We all know it's going to be Randall Cobb there. He's give it to his old
Revenge
team.
game. There it is. The narrative's there.
Yeah, it is. It don't always work out that way.
No.
But the narrative is there. Neil, who you got?
I have Cortland Sutton. He has our 60 points through 4 weeks, which is pretty stellar. And the thing is, like, his worst week was against Chicago, and he still has 7 targets and 4 for 40 there. So it's not terrible. I have to actually start Flacco this week.
Wow.
That's sad because Josh
That is-
Allen. You know what I mean?
That is sad.
Yeah. But I think Sutton's a very valuable
Yeah,
start.
he's been very consistent with his targets.
Yeah, they've all been there, like I said, but the worst games against Chicago. Besides that,
As bad as Denver's been, I mean, Flacco has, Sutton and Sanders have both been
Right.
really good for fantasy. So
Truth, absolute truth. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stick to the wide receiver narrative. Deontay Johnson has looked
He has
really
looked real
good, and Deontay Johnson, somebody's got to be the guy there. We know it's Juju, but for Juju to succeed, someone else has to step up. And Deontay Johnson, he's got a TD touchdown. He's got a touchdown in each of his first 2 starts. And to me, he's an ascending player. James Washington couldn't get those touchdowns.
No.
Dante Moncrief couldn't get those touchdowns. You bring in Deontay Johnson, and there you go. Was it Arms that was making the argument that because James Washington and Mason Rudolph played together that
I think I mentioned it.
Was it
but
you?
I wasn't really arguing, but I thought that James Washington would kind of step up
Right.
with Rudolph just because they have that connection. But if the talent's not there, then I guess it's not going to work out regardless.
yeah. So
But yeah, and Jimmy Smith's out again for Baltimore, so that secondary is still banged up. So yeah, I like that play. I like the Steelers this week.
Mason Rudolph's looking good. I've got him on my my plays too. He just seems to get a little bit better each game, and his stats per start much better than Ben's.
he's going to get you at least 20 points, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mason Rudolph, I'm not afraid of him. I love Deontay Johnson. I traded Jarvis Landry basically for him in a league and a first. There was more to it than that, but I'm really happy with my return on that trade at the moment. Go ahead, anybody. Give me a start.
I'm going to go with Dawson Knox versus the Titans.
You sniped me. You sniped me.
He's been used an awful ton. Obviously, Allen ain't going to be there this week, probably. But I assume Barkley's going to be looking his way.
Yeah, he'll check down to him.
Yeah, between this, probably just there's like 40 snaps of just running backs going to town and check downs.
Yep.
That's all I see.
Yeah, I would just if I was Buffalo, I would just keep it as safe as I could with Barkley, and just run the ball, pass it to Knox, Beasley over the middle. I wouldn't play John Brown this week. I don't like
he's a
him.
sit.
Well, something about the competition too. The Titans, they give up touchdowns to the tight ends.
Yeah, they're one of the worst.
Yeah.
Three out of 4 games, they've given up a touchdown to the tight end. And that 4th game where they didn't was against Austin Hooper, and he went over 100 yards on him. So the tight end can burn Tennessee. Tennessee's got a good defense, but tight ends look good against them. Like I said, we got Matt Barkley. He's probably going to find Knox pretty often if I had to take a guess at it. I don't know if he'll have a big, total receptions game, but 5 for 75 and a touch.
Yeah, I'm hoping for 4 for 60 or
Yeah.
something. This anything.
Yep, seems totally within
Yep.
reason. Absolutely.
I'm gonna go with a sit. Is that okay? Can we do sits?
Kind of want to get the starts out of the way, just because I've got 1 page of starts, 1
Mister.
page of sits, and
Go ahead.
basically, here, I'll give you one of these Ross Gellers. Stands for F-U, Hux.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
Well,
just-
you
I'm
go
just
ahead.
playing.
You
I'm
go ahead
sorry.
and do a start then. I don't have one.
What?
I do, but
Well, I'll
Good
give
name.
another. I'll give another one.
Go ahead.
I'm feeling good about them. So David Johnson, obviously, don't sit your studs. I just want to mention him against the Bengals. He's going to tear it up. David Johnson's going to absolutely tear it up through the air and on the ground. So don't worry about David Johnson. I'll get on the one real quick before I pass the torch. Quarterback again. Kyle Allen. I'm still not afraid to start Kyle Allen. He's got 118.3 quarterback rating versus Cam's 71% quarterback rating. Kyle Allen has 4 touchdowns in the 2 games he started to Cam's 0 in 2 games that he started. The offense is a little bit better with Kyle Allen. I hate to say it.
I'm having to start him in one league.
I wouldn't be afraid of him. I'm not saying absolutely go start him. I'm saying if you got Jacoby Brissett and he's on bye, hopefully you got Kyle Allen. If you've got Luke Falk, don't do it. Don't bank on Marcus Mariota after a decent game. Like, go ahead and roll with Kyle Allen.
I have Allen, Big Ben, and Breeze all hurt. So, I mean, hurt or on bye.
Yeah, so I still like Kyle Allen. He is proving to be a really solid waiver pickup if you got him. So go ahead, Neil. Who you got?
For sits or starts?
Sits. Starts, I'm sorry.
I'd have no more starts.
I'll go one more start.
Okay.
I do, to keep with Carolina, I got Curtis Samuel as a start. Jalen Ramsey's not playing. And he's got the 8th most air yards through the first 4 weeks. So they're throwing the ball deep to him. It hasn't translated to a whole lot of, big production, but they're trying.
He's one of the few people that are actually getting targets other than C-Mac.
He's got a good matchup this week.
I like that. I'm going to throw in Ito Smith, and not just as I'm not saying he's a must start. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that Devontae Freeman is averaging like 3.3 a carry, 3.2 a carry, something awful.
The dude's a bum.
He is. He's breaking down. I mean, I called it well before the season that don't draft Devontae Freeman high. He's breaking down. I know he's young, but he's just had too many nicky-nack injuries, and they're starting to pile up. He's breaking down. Ito Smith, meanwhile, is averaging 5.7 yards a carry. I know it's on limited work. I think he's had 14, 15 carries.
13 carries.
But he's got 2.5 more yards per carry. And Ito Smith, while I don't think he's a game difference maker or anything like that, I think it's time to pick him up in leagues. He was on waivers in a bunch of leagues I'm in. I think it's time to pick him up. I think he's going to be starting sooner than later. So Ito Smith is a guy I'm keeping eyes on this week. Take it away, someone.
We'll start on sits? Or do you got some more starts?
I got a few more starts.
Go ahead and go, but I like to talk. Let's go.
You want me to just burn through them then?
Burn through them.
Well, I mean, well, I guess we are almost 40 minutes through the show.
Yeah.
So, again,
We can talk forever. So
Devontae Adams is out. Marquette, I said it again, MVS, start him. Diggs, he's supposed to be in. I actually like him over Thielen. Deontay Johnson, already mentioned him. Sutton, Cortland Sutton's heating up. He's coming off a 2-touchdown game. I'm not going away from Cortland Sutton. I think as the season goes on, he's going to move his way up the rankings. If you drafted him late in redraft because he was available in like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th round, I grabbed him everywhere I could. I think he's a great play this week. Phillip Rivers I like as a quarterback this week if you're having a hard time deciding between QBs that range from 7 to 12 range, 7 to 20 range. Gallup, I still like him. Play him. Last one I got, we'll move to sits. Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack's a great play this week. I know they play KC.
What about his injuries?
Huh?
It might be more of a Hines show this week.
I thought I saw that Mack was in. I thought I saw that he's good. He's practicing. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll look it up. If he is in, either one of them, Hines as well, Kansas City gives up massive yards per carry to running backs. Through 4 weeks, here's the 4 running backs they faced. Here's their yards per carry. Kerryon Johnson, 4.8 a carry. Fournette, 5.1 a carry. Josh Jacobs, 8.3 a carry. And then against Baltimore, they gave 6.4 up to Ingram and 7.6 yards a carry up to Gus, the gummy gator, Edwards.
I just figured Chiefs to be up anyway, so it's going to be more of a Hines show.
They may, but last week we saw, them actually have to play a full game. So if the Colts give them even 3/4 of a game of competition, whether it's Mack or Hines, either one of them, I'm comfortable firing up. Now we can go to sits, Hux. For the love
Good
of God. To bring more to the table next time.
My bad.
Well, who's so important? You got to talk about.
Where's that Hux? I must be the wrong one button. at? Where is that? I'm just
We
kidding.
can make one.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Hux. Take it away. Well, let's answer. You know what? Let's answer some questions first.
Go ahead.
So, real quick, rate my team. Carson Roulette again. He wants help this week. Rate his team. Matt Ryan. To me, that's like a B plus, I guess. James Conner, Lev Bell. That right now is probably only a C plus right now. Connor's not tearing the world up. Lev
did
Bell's
last
not
week.
not running.
He scores points. I mean, the other way too. I mean,
Jalen Samuels is kind of lurking. I worry a little bit.
Yeah, plus Connor he got beat up last week too.
he did, but they
he
already
got-
said
he
he's
got
going to
beat up
play.
bad.
So
Thielen, Godwin, Ertz, Marquise Brown, kicker. Don't know why you threw that in there, Carson. Wentz, Barkley. Your team's good.
Yeah, that's a good
Galladay,
team.
Sutton, Dorsett, Robinson. That's a good team. I mean, I give it a B plus. The only reason I wouldn't give it an A is I'm not 100% sold on the running backs right now. Kind of dicey. Jay Kelly on YouTube asked Gore or Sony Michelle. Man, I don't.
That's actually tough because I think
That
Gore's will
is
see some
tough.
action.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gore. Sony Michelle's been mediocre. Is it fair to
Yeah.
say he's been
yeah, I'll go
mediocre?
Gord just because you don't know which New England back is going to get the work.
Yeah,
James White probably, but
yeah. I'm going Gore. Luckily, we have people helping us out. So Gore or Boyd, I go Boyd. That matchup against Arizona is too tasty. Boyd for
Boyd.
sure. Go ahead, give us a sit, Hux. Bring more questions if you're listening. That's fine with us.
One quarterback said I got down, and as good as he's been this year, and I already mentioned the Green Bay secondary, I'm sitting Dak this week. I think it's going to be the Zeke show.
I agree.
Green Bay's third against the pass, and I just think they're going to try to feed Zeke as much as they can.
well they have to after last week when Zeke's performance wasn't the best.
No,
Yeah.
I mean it was pretty bad, but yeah, I just obviously in redraft season long leagues you might not have a better option than Dak, but just because of the production he has put up this year, but
Dak or Kyle Allen this week.
I would get Kyle Allen on that one.
Dak.
There you go.
I think Dak too. I don't love him as a play this week, but he does get Gallup back. They are playing the Packers. The Packers could get ahead. It could be one of those garbage time points
Yeah, I
things.
mean,
but the Dallas Cowboys could be that like super high powered offense they were in the first handful of
They
weeks too with
could.
Gallup back.
The over-under is like 46, I think, 46, 47 in that range. And I don't think the spread's very much either, like 3, 4,
It's
So, I mean-
it's 3 points.
3. So
Yeah.
Another question: Shepard, Sterling, or Hollywood Brown? I go Sterling Shepard this week.
I'll go Brown just for the boom potential.
I like Shepard. with
Yeah,
the
I would
safe-
still pick Shepard. over
safe
it.
floor.
Yeah.
I like the floor. I'm a floor guy. I'm gonna give you a sit. Calvin Ridley. We had such high hopes for Calvin Ridley going into the season. The honest to God truth is there's no one worth playing right now in Atlanta outside of Ryan, Julio Jones, and Austin Hooper.
It seems like even Julio's numbers haven't been all there.
He's got 4 touchdowns. Those
Yeah,
are saving him.
the one time he's actually getting touchdowns.
Yeah. But his yardage, he's only got like 230 some yards, I think, over 4 games.
It's really crazy. I don't know, like, where are these points coming from? That's why you're trying to wrap your head around.
Yeah,
It's just
well,
like-
he's spread them out over 4 games. He hasn't had seems like he's had solid games. They've involved touchdowns, but Calvin Ridley, man, until he can string together a couple good games, I'm worried about starting Calvin Ridley right now. So, Dan Rozier, back row writer, has serious question. Hux, do you trust Kirk Cousins at 5,300 on DraftKings this week versus the Giants? Cheers.
Do I trust him? No, but
Nor do
price
I.
is there. I actually have him as one of my sits, but the Giants are terrible. So
Yeah,
I mean,
but
and
their
the
defense.
price is good
you can get Andy Dalton for
for
that price.
5,300.
Yeah, go Andy Dalton.
So I mean, if you're Yeah, if you're wanting to be different, because Cousins isn't going to be very owned. So, I mean, I guess if you're wanting to go against the ownership, then I still would probably try to find somebody else.
I don't disagree with that at all. I actually like Neil's suggestion. I'd rather start Andy Dalton. I don't know how much he costs on DraftKings
Same.
right
Dalton's
now.
57. But
Yeah, I'll pay the extra.
honestly, just
$400.
looking at the pricing, 5,300's Cousins, I would pay 100 less than play Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question from the same guy, Jay Kelly. What about Chris Herndon for the future? I love Chris Herndon for the future. There is not a wide receiver in New York, Jets-wise, that is really doing a whole lot.
Don't you love Robbie?
Great. I do like Robbie, but he's never been that consistent. And Chris Herndon was really good last year. I think Herndon is a very savvy pickup. Like, get him as soon as you can, because as soon as Darnold and Herndon are on the field together, Herndon's going to be a 5-catch-a-week
Yeah,
guy.
he's the number 2 there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Sits Lev Bell. I mean, I know he's probably going to be like James Conner this week and get it done for fantasy through the air a little bit, but I hate banking on running backs to give you points through the air. I want them to get rushing yards too and goal line opportunities, and I don't know if the Jets are going to sniff the goal line. So
Never know.
Lev Bell is a definite sit for me.
I mean, he's really all they got, though. So
He
I'm
is,
not,
but
I have him in a league, and I'm not sitting him.
can they move it? All the defense has to do is focus on Lev Bell, and they're good,
Pretty much.
in my opinion. So
I want to go ahead and use Baker Mayfield as my sit.
Is Chris Herndon back this week?
I think he was only suspended 4 games,
I
right?
thought he's not on DraftKings anywhere. That's why I was wondering.
Thought maybe it was a 6. No,
Was it 6
yeah.
weeks? Or is
No,
he back?
2 days ago, the return of Chris Herndon.
you go.
He's back.
There you go.
I don't know then. He's not on DraftKings.
He might be super cheap.
He's not on there.
Not on there. Can you search him?
I searched him. He's not on there. That's why I was wondering.
Wow. Well, that's dropping the ball.
Yeah,
DraftKings.
I mean, if he's playing this week, they drop the ball.
I assume Golden Tate's available.
Yeah, Tate's on there.
Well, that's strange.
I believe Watson's on there. Let me check Watson. Ben Watson. He's back this week. Ben Watson's on there. So yeah.
Nice.
Huh. Okay. I'll give you another sit. 2 guys actually.
Can I finish mine?
2 for 1. Go ahead. I thought you were finished. It's hard to tell.
No, I said I would sit Baker Mayfield this week against the Niners. They're only giving up 14 points to opposing quarterbacks, and it's in the West Coast. Their defense is really stellar. I don't see Mayfield being that great this week. They'll buy into the hype.
I like him this week. I'm not afraid of Baker this week. I think the Browns, what they did last season was once they tasted a little bit of winning, that's when Baker plays really well. Browns mania is creeping back up a little bit. Baker's going to play
Is
well,
that
I think.
Monday? They play
It
Monday
is
night?
Monday night.
Yeah, I'm not sitting Mayfield this week.
No, me neither.
All of a sudden, everybody's back on Mayfield mania.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Rightfully so.
he's a good quarterback.
I didn't see any Browns hats last week, and when they won, all of a sudden they're back in full force.
That's what happens when you win. That's
Jeez,
what
man.
winning does.
Browns fans, but 7-9.
Okay. So, are you done with Baker?
I guess I am.
Get off of
I was
him.
done with him last year.
Get off of him. You're just a Baker hater.
I really not. That's the thing.
2-1 on sits. Kenny Stills and Will Fuller, they're canceling each other out right now. Like, neither one of them are having big games. They have essentially the same stat line right now, and that's Stills coming over a game or 2 into the season. I don't like either one of those guys. Not now, not soon. I think you can sit them both. DeAndre Hopkins is the only wide receiver I trust in Houston.
Stills is a game time decision, so keep an eye on that.
If he's out,
I like Fuller this
maybe
week.
Fuller's
Yeah, a lot of
okay,
people are liking
but-
Fuller this week. But
Dude, he's gonna have the breakout. I talked about it last
that's what I
week.
keep hearing about that. I'm tired of hearing it.
I mean,
it's like, oh, he's going to do this?
He's
Is
getting
he?
the targets though. He had 6 last week, 7 and the week before, 7 the week before that. He just hasn't hit the long ball yet. Watson overthrew him and Hopkins both last week on some long that both would have been touchdowns. So it's going to connect.
Question pertaining to a topic we talked about: Lev Bell or Frank Gore this week?
Bell.
Bell
Yeah.
for me too. Even though I say sit him, I think he does enough. You've got a safer floor there almost because he is going to catch some balls. Gore's probably not. So I mean, it's
Listen,
Lev Bell over Gore.
Philly's defense isn't like great or anything,
No.
especially their
No.
passing defense. So
No.
I mean, it's
Jets offense is just really bad.
it is. But is this Fox what third week starting? So I mean, he
Third
should be
week playing,
getting
Yeah, it doesn't
should be
mean-
getting more comfortable at
Should
least.
he?
I mean,
is it going to matter?
no, I mean they're not going to win.
He's Luke Falk.
He knows the playbook.
I mean, he's getting
So
more
did
comfortable.
Paxton Lynch.
They're coming. The only thing that it doesn't really worry me, but Darnold had most of the practice trips with the first team this week, so Falk missed out on that. So I mean, but Bell should be safe to play this week.
Yeah,
He's probably good for at least 5-6 catches this week. He might only have 40 yards rushing, 6 catches, 40. I mean, he could put up 100 yards.
He's still going to score in the teens.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like a Dalvin Cook game of last week. The Vikings scored 6 points and Dalvin still put up 19 points PPR wise.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's possible. I mean, Bell's I think puts up 15 plus.
Yeah, and my sit Bell suggestion is kind of based around the fact that you might have someone better to put in place of him. Frank Gore is not the better
No.
that I'm putting in front of Lev Bell. So, and you're welcome. Thanks for watching, Jay Kelly. Colt McCoy, I'll go ahead and get that out of the way since we're talking about guys that like Luke Falk just because they're starting. Washington basically said, "Screw it, we suck.
Right.
Let's roll Colt McCoy out. Don't start him. Don't even entertain the fact of start.
You have to
start
be in bad
Luke,
shape.
Start Luke Falk.
Yeah.
over Colt McCoy. Not really. I don't.
I
either
probably
one
would
of them.
start. I'd start Falk over McCoy, but if you're in that situation, God help you.
Hopefully you got
Make some moves.
Kyle
I
Allen.
see
Yeah,
got
make some moves.
Yeah.
You should have bid on Kyle Allen
Or Minshew earlier, right?
or Minshew.
Gotta love Gardner. Gardner. Go ahead. Someone with a sit. Have at it.
I'm gonna go the Tennessee wide receivers. I'm not playing Davis. I'm not playing AJ Brown.
I'm not
Buffalo's pass defense is just too good.
Yep, I agree 100%.
I'll also sit Mariota this week.
I 100% am sitting Mariota this week.
I was gonna piggyback onto that because my tight end is like, it's weird to actually say sit Walker, but
Well, I mean, he had a bad game. He only had
that's it.
one catch last week.
Buffalo hasn't allowed more than 25 yards to a tight end this year.
They're top notch, man.
I mean, it's weird. It's like that's considered one of your tight end studs when there's not a lot of tight ends out
Derrick
there.
Henry's probably the only tight end I'd play this week.
Right.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with Derrick Henry
That's
because
about it.
I do think the Titans will win that game, and I think it'll be
With Josh Allen out, or I don't, he hasn't been ruled out yet. I
No,
don't think, but
no.
if he doesn't play, I think the Titans win.
yeah. That's the precursor. I don't think they can win with Matt Barkley. Not consistently. I don't think he's terrible, but not
I
consistently.
mean, if the defense plays absolutely lights out, I think Buffalo has a chance to win, but it's going to be low scoring. So, I mean, I don't think there's not really anybody I'd really recommend.
no.
On
So-
either side, really. Other than Henry.
yeah.
And to hit Jay Kelly up again real quick, he asks about Hunter Henry for future trade value. It's diminishing, very diminishing.
He's practicing, right?
He is practicing. I'd get what I can. I mean, it's Jordan Reed situation. The guy can't stay on the field. If you can get something for him, I say get it. I'll drop another sit. Josh Jacobs.
I have him also. So.
Yeah, I figured we all would. Honestly, I think it's very obvious to sit Josh Jacobs this week. The best any running back has done against the Bears is Royce Freeman, 54 yards on the ground. I'm talking about rushing. I didn't go completely into detail of passing, but Josh Jacobs, he might be okay. He might score you 10, but chances are he's not going to rush
Yeah,
for a lot.
they're
So,
giving up 3 yards to carry to running backs.
yeah, not good. Josh Jacobs, and I do think the Bears are going to win this one pretty handily. That defense is just so good. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback for the Bears. I'd be very shocked if the Raiders pulled up.
I think Khalil Mack might have 5 sacks this week.
He very well may.
It's very possible.
I mean, going back to Oakland, I mean, they got rid of him. I just think revenge game for him. I think he's going to be in there. So yeah, I think it could be a blowout. Even
He's
on the road.
excited about it too. You
Even
can
on the
tell.
road, I think they could easily win that game.
And Khalil Mack, he was asked about it, so
Of course.
he's pumped.
Oh yeah.
He's pumped. All right, somebody give me a sit.
This is kind of spicy, but I am going to set Sterling Shepard.
That's not that spicy.
I mean, it's not the best matchup for him. Tate's obviously coming back, so there's going to be some target shares given up.
It's like spicy nacho Dorito spicy.
Right. And Vikings are top 10 in passing defense and total defense.
It's like McDonald's hot sauce spicy.
Oh, boy, you can't have that. It's too hot.
Huh?
It's too hot.
It's not, though.
Exactly.
Like, it's not hot at all. Like, when they ask hot or mild, I don't even know the difference after I eat it. Like, I just don't know.
Okay, but the thing is, the Sterling Shepard, is he considered a stud as far as, like, you got to start him anyway?
No, he's not a stud.
Yeah.
He's a bye-week guy, in my
Right.
opinion, unless you're Den Carter.
I
Gotta start
play
him.
against him this week, sadly.
Well, hopefully you win.
Yeah. But I would, if you have the depth, I wouldn't be afraid to sit Shepard this week. The matchup's not there for him.
I'm neutral on it. I have no problem sitting him or starting him. I mean, I think he's, again, safe floor. I think he'll score you 10, but depends on other guys on my roster. James Conner, I talked about earlier. He's coming off a game where he got pummeled. I don't like him against the Ravens. I know the Ravens got chubbed on last week. Mm-hmm. Chubb went wild, but Conner barely came off the injury report today. So I'm just not feeling it. Jalen Samuel's looking better than Conner. I'm just going to say that. Jalen Samuel looks better.
Yeah.
So I'm not comfy.
It feels like he's playing better in that offense, the way it's like the check downs and stuff like that, short range stuff.
Yeah. Well, James Conner hasn't looked good running the ball.
No, well,
So,
his yards per carry showing that.
Yeah, if you can't run the ball very well, your receptions are probably going to go down because they know it's coming. Like, they're not worried about you running the ball, so they're going to cover you in the flat.
I mean, he had 8 catches last week.
I know. He usually does more with those catches. What do you have? 30-some yards on him?
83 yards receiving and a touchdown.
Well, fine.
He had that real long reception.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not sitting him at all.
It all depends. Like
Odds are I'm not going to have anybody better on my bench to play over James Conner. So, but yeah.
Would you start him over Samuels?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Samuels is like creeping up to him. He hasn't taken over or anything like that, but still, it's just dicey. It's so hard to keep track of some of these running back situations because Jalen Samuel's getting more run this year than he did last year. So it just feels
he's a talented back.
Feels like
he's a do-it-all guy. So
yeah, it just feels like it's starting to even out a little bit. But I'll give you Ricky Seals-Jones. That's not a barn burner, but he is the best tight end currently in Cleveland. And he had a good week last week.
Still cheap, too.
Still cheap, but he's a sit for me. The Niners, over the 3 games they have played, they give tight ends nothing.
Right.
They give them nothing right now. So I'm not about to bank on Ricky Seals-Jones to be that guy that bucks the ways of the Niners right now. So Ricky Seals-Jones, I'd rather play Herndon. In a heartbeat.
If he's playing this week.
I still couldn't find out if he was not suspended, but I guess there's an easy way to do that. You go to myfantasyleague.com, you pull up Chris Herndon. If it has an S by his name, he's suspended. If it doesn't, he's not. So I'll do that while one of you give me a sit.
I'll go. This is more leaning towards DraftKings wise just because of the price and the possible limited. I'm sitting Melvin Gordon again this week. They say he's going to play. He's going to be limited.
Chris Herndon suspended. 5-game suspension. How often do you see those?
Yeah, you don't see it.
Anyways, keep going.
Melvin Gordon, he's priced at $7,000 still in DraftKings, and he's actually priced $300 more than Eckler this week.
And that's stupid
which
to
is
me.
Stupid.
That is.
Eckler's still going to see more points.
I mean, yeah. Well, this week, I mean, they're playing Denver, who just let off 200-plus yards to Fournette. So I'm not hesitating in playing Eckler, regardless of Gordon playing or not. But yeah, I'm sitting Gordon, especially in DraftKings.
Well, Eckler put up good numbers when Gordon was there anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are talking about this because one of the guys watching the stream asked, what do you think about the Eckler situation? Where does it go from here?
I mean, this week, it's going to be a week-by-week thing until Gordon's fully in the mix. But this week, for sure, I have no concern playing Eckler.
I mean, Eckler had better yards per carry when he was there.
Once Gordon
better
gets
reception numbers.
It might be next week. Here in a week or 2 or 3, the roles are going to reverse.
But even like towards the end of other games back before the recent times, it's still Eckler saw plenty of touches.
No, yeah, I mean Eckler's still going to be playable, and as the roles reverse, Eckler's price will drop on DraftKings. Gordon $7,000. It's probably going to be the lowest he's at this year, to be honest. Because he's going to be limited this week, and then next week news will probably come out. he's going to play more, so his price will stay right around the same, or maybe go up again. Depending, I don't know who they play. So, but yeah, I'm sitting Gordon. Kind of hard to sit him in like season long redraft, depending on who you have, because I know if you have him, you're excited to get him back to play him. You've probably been throwing out some scrub the first few weeks, waiting for him to come back.
We don't want no scrubs.
Sometimes you gotta have them right.
Absolutely. Neil, who you got?
It might be. I've been harping on the Vikings matchup, but I wouldn't play Daniel Jones this week either. A lot of people are still saying he should play him this week, but I don't see the numbers being there for that matchup.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for sure. Vikings have a pretty solid pass defense. Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes.
The only thing that saves that matchup is if Kirk Cousins happens to throw a bunch of picks like by their end zone, and
Highly possible.
which is very possible.
Very possible.
Then Jones capitalizes on that.
Highly possible.
I mean, they're probably going to have to air it out. I mean, they're at home. They're probably going to have to air it out to hang with Minnesota, because I expect Minnesota to bounce back this week.
I kind of do. It's another one of those things like Joe Mixon. I'm afraid to bank on it right now.
Well, I think Dalvin's going to bounce back this week. So I mean, it might.
Dalvin should.
Yeah, he should.
I just want to see a Cousins 300-yard game again.
It could happen, but
Nah.
I'm not
Those days are
playing
going,
him.
right?
Yeah,
They might be knocking on the door for Bridgewater before long. Like, can we please have him back? Oh, dear God. Or maybe Josh Rosen goes to
I just wonder how much.
Culpepper comes back.
I just wonder how much longer the offensive coordinator lasts in Minnesota. If
probably not long. I don't.
I mean,
not looking good.
Look, the first couple of weeks they look good. They're running the ball and sailing along there, but seems like if they're in a tight game where they got to throw, they can't do it.
What does Shane Crabtree think about this?
He's probably infuriated with it.
I am enjoying this week's meme of the week, which is Kirk Cousins at the gender reveal.
Oh yeah,
Throwing the 3-yard pass.
Yeah, almost missing it.
Nearly throwing it in the soil instead of hitting his baby reveal box.
he don't want people to know what the gender was.
He got it though. He got it. The blue powders. He did it. He did it. Just like ITT Tech. If you remember those commercials, I did it. I did it. Said Kirk Cousins. I did it. I'm gonna give you my last sit of the week right now. For the first time, because I hate even saying the words I don't like Gardner Minshew this week. Not at all. Hux was talking about some of the shutdown pass defenses in the league. The Panthers, kind of under the radar, have shut down Deshaun Watson. They frustrated Kyler Murray. He didn't play great. They kept Jameis in check. I know that those last two quarterbacks aren't barn burners like Kyler, Jameis, but they do throw a lot.
Yes,
and the Panthers held them in check, and they also shut down Jared Goff in a pretty good offense. So I don't really like the rookie Minshew against Panthers this week. I think he's going to have some problems.
And that's another reason why Chark has been a popular sit also.
Yeah, I actually have wrote down sit Jaguars wide receivers. So yeah, that plays
Yep.
right into that. I
Bada
agree.
bing, bada boom. Bada bing. Got another question. Is there a San Francisco or Kansas City back worth going after in a trade? No.
I don't trust it.
No. Answer
I
is
mean,
no.
I guess it depends on how cheap you can get them. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, depth is fine, but I mean, going after means like, oh, I want this guy. I got to have me some Matt Breida. Ooh, got to have me some Darrell Williams. No,
I mean,
I like him if
I
you can get him
honestly
cheap.
wouldn't mind getting Shady, but if you can get him cheap, but I'm not gonna like pursue him.
Darrell Williams,
Yeah, Darrell Williams looked good last week.
could he be the future in Kansas City?
No,
He looks good.
he looks good.
He
but
looks
no,
really
he's not
good.
the future.
Never know.
I know.
Some Williams is going to play a lot. Some D Williams
Yes,
is going to play
Sunday
a lot.
Williams will.
Yeah, some D Williams is going to get a lot of carries. I don't know which one it'll be. Hux, you got a DFS report for us? You're going to say no.
I mean, I've mentioned a lot of the DraftKings guys I like this week. I got a couple.
Any that you didn't?
I got a couple stacks I like this week.
Oh,
The Texans-
That's good. That's perfect.
The Texans Falcons game is going to be popular stack, but it's hard to go against it because I love Watson, I love Hopkins, I love Julio. It's going to be popular, so you're going to have to go elsewhere to get lower percentage guys in there because they're all going to be high
I
owned.
can afford that stack. I mean, what else are you playing?
There's value out there. You know, you can like Curtis Samuel's like 4,500. You can play him. Larry Fitzgerald, I think he could have a good
Yeah,
week.
he's a possible start this week as far as like.
Yeah,
winning
I like
starters.
Fitz this week. Kirk's
Yeah.
out. Honestly, if with Tate being so popular on DraftKings this week, if you want to go contrarian, you could go Keyshawn Johnson, the exact same price,
Right.
with Kirk out. I think Johnson could be a sneaky play this week. I like the Bucks stack with Jameis and Godwin and Evans.
Same. I'm all about that.
It's
Bucs
still,
pick.
it's not really going overlooked, but it's not going to be high owned by any means, and they're going to have to throw the ball. I mean, you got to kind of ride Jameis while he's hot right now.
Unless there's like some anomaly, that they're going to get their points.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I mean, I know the way the Saints played last week. They shut down Dallas, and I don't want to say Tampa's better than Dallas, but they're gonna throw the ball. I mean, Jameis could have 50 attempts this week. I mean, if they're gonna have to, they're not gonna run the ball.
No,
Ronald Jones ain't gonna do anything. Peyton Barber's not gonna do anything.
No.
But and I like the other side of that game too. I like a Saints stack with Bridgewater, Thomas, and Thomas is insanely cheap on DraftKings this week with only 6,600.
Michael Thomas is?
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
he's
And
cheaper.
of course
Nothing but consistency.
he's projected the second highest ownership, rightfully so, with that price. But
Well, yeah.
and I like Kamara. He's the not cheaper, but he's the lower owned out of the top 4 backs this week. So
Kamara should have a great week.
he's only projected at 8%, and the other 3 around him price wise are all projected like over 20%. So
I'm going to go grab me some Kamara right now. I'm pulling arms.
And I know I mentioned sit Dak earlier, but looking at ownership projections, which plays into the whole thing of Green Bay's defense, but Dallas's offense outside of Zeke is not getting any love. So I mean, that could be I can see that being a high scoring game, and I mean Zeke's not going to get all the scoring. I mean that could be a contrarian low owned play with him and Cooper and Gallup, but I'm probably not playing it. But if I'm playing a lot of lineups,
Yeah.
it might something I plug in.
They got to be feeding Zeke this week, so
Yeah, I mean
they're going to give him a chance to bounce back.
Zeke should have 25 plus touches this week.
He should.
Should.
I agree.
That's all I got for DraftKings.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Neil, anything you missed? Anything you want to add that you may not have got to talk about?
That's a negative.
I don't either. 7 to 8 arms. I know you're listening out there. Do you want to do a quick call in? You want to do that? Would that be some fun? Arms, you want to do it? I'll call you. I'm not afraid. We got a few minutes. Just call me. If you're watching, just call me.
He always wants to talk.
We'll get 30 more minutes out of this show if Arms calls real quick. I'm gonna give you about let's go 30 seconds, Arms. If you call me within 30 seconds, we'll do it. 30, 29, 28, 27.
Are you going to count all the way down to?
I probably shouldn't.
You may talk while you wait.
Yeah, tell some more DraftKings. Let's give Arms 30 seconds.
All right. Just looking at the quarterbacks on DraftKings, the ownership's going to go to Watson and probably Matt Ryan, Dalton. I really like Brady this week, and he's 200 cheaper than Watson. I mean, I honestly, you never know with New England, but I really could see a 4 touchdown first half, and then they just run the ball second half. But Brady's looking at under 5% ownership right now.
That's crazy.
It is crazy because the matchup's so good. But I mean, he's kind of getting overlooked for the sexier matchup with Watson. Lamar Jackson's safe place. He's highest price this week, so I'm not really sure what his ownership is going to be, but he's a safe play. Kyler Murray, he should be a safe play too.
How much is he?
Yeah,
He's
against Cincinnati.
6,300. So, and I like that range right there because Jameis is 6,200. I wouldn't mind either one of those, but it's really looking like Dalton, Watson, Matt Ryan's getting the ownership this week.
Don't hate it.
No, not at all.
You
like Fournette?
Arms isn't calling.
Yeah.
You like Fournette this week against Carolina? I mean, I know you don't like Fournette at all, but
I don't hate him.
just the guy's getting consistent.
I don't hate him. They're going to have
touches.
to do something. I mean, they're going to have to do something. I don't hate him.
For a guy getting 20 plus touches a game, coming off a 200 plus game, he's still only priced 6,400. That's, you'd think he'd be priced up with some of the higher guys, but I think they're still priced too low.
I agree.
He might be the only guy that does something on that team.
He could.
Truth. All right. I'm good. You guys good?
Yeah, I'm good. That's all I got.
Hopefully, people watching the stream got some questions in. I hate to interrupt every 5 seconds to do questions, but at the same time, I really enjoy questions.
Yeah, I enjoy the questions.
Yeah, me too. So thanks for bringing them. Check in every Friday, 9:30 p.m. on Friday. We usually stream. We get together at 9:30. We usually do the live stream about 9:45, 9:50. So, tap the bell on YouTube, tap the bell on Twitch, and watch and ask.
On Twitter, if you just tag
yeah.
us on there, we'll get the questions even before the show. You can tag us anytime.
Absolutely. You can send us private messages. That's fine. Instagram, same thing. Basically every platform. You can get a hold of us, ask questions. We'll help you out as much as we can. Or we'll hurt you.
Yeah.
Just depending. We miss sometimes.
We'll give you our honest opinion. Might help, might hurt.
Might help, might hurt.
Like anymore, it's like don't come to me anymore. Like Calvin Ridley screwed me and everybody else. So.
Yeah, me and Arms have been banging the table for Calvin Ridley too, and it's just not going well. So, but follow us on Twitter at The Back Row Show. You can follow us individually. All you got to do is go on there. All of us are retweeting tweets from the Back Row and posting on the Back Row, so you can follow us individually. We have a Facebook page. You can follow there. Instagram as well. Just search Back Row Fantasy Show. That's simple. So go follow us on there. If you want to listen to exclusive content, sign up at Red Circle. We'll put that link on our Twitter again and pin it right after I upload the episode tonight. So, yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Wednesday because I've started releasing a primer, IDP primer, every Wednesday. Should drop in the evening every single Wednesday. IDP updates as to who you should grab on the waiver wire, who's ascending, who's descending. Only a 15 to 20 minute show, so when you see IDP primer in the description of the episode, just know that's a short one with just me. And then on Friday nights, and they usually release Friday night, like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, but you see that Friday/Saturday show, that's, at least a 3-man show. So there you go. Check it out. Check out the IDP primer. If you want a Thursday night football primer or anything like that, just let us know. We'll get it done. Thanks for listening. Barks out.
See you.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.